Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of That's Bonkers, Bruh, where we talk about the strange and unusual, the interesting, and anything downright bonkers. I'm your host, Mitch.
And I'm Kelsey.
Gosh dang. I should have heard this girl giggling right before we started recording.
Whatever. You really hit the bruh aggressively this time. I was trying not to lose it again.
She's a bit punchy.
Mitch is always saying the dumbest stuff and making me laugh. But we're back to bring you some Christmas cheer.
Yes, we are.
And it'll be a little bit of a shorter one, but that's okay because we are all busy doing Christmas shit. So we don't have time to listen to a super long podcast anyway, usually. So that's fine, I think.
Yeah, I hope everyone's doing a lot less commuting and, all that type of stuff during this time of year. Taking all your PTO. I know I have plenty to take off.
Must be nice. Hairstylists don't know about that life.
Yeah, you don't know about that life, do you?
We do not. Our hairstylists are out here fighting for our lives this month. So
that's what I hear.
We are not okay.
I've heard.
Check on your hairstylist friends. We're struggling. We are. Okay. What do you have for us today?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, by the time this comes out, okay, it will be just days away from the winter solstice. Did you know that?
I did not.
So winter solstice, shortest day of the year, December 21st. So the shortest day, longest night of the year. But the cool thing about the winter solstice, which you may or may not know, is that it has a meaning that goes way, way earlier than probably most people realize, because you have what would be considered Yule. You've heard of Yule, right?
Yeah, I
a
have.
blessed Yule and all that type of stuff. So it goes back to like pagan and Wiccan and Norse Germanic tribes and stuff like that. So actually predates a lot of the Christian belief systems, but it has a lot of the same similarities, right? So they used to call it a Yule tree rather than a Christmas tree, but it was the same concept. They would go cut down pine trees, decorate them, give gifts and everything like that. But Yule is actually another thing that has the 12 days. So there's the 12 days of Yule. And when you look into it a little bit deeper, there's a lot of really cool stuff. Well, it's just like, okay, so they had a whole bunch of ways that they would celebrate Yule. Like I said, there's like the 12 days or whatever. They would burn a Yule log that now is sometimes considered a Yule or a Christmas log.
Yeah, I had never heard of a Christmas log until we moved out here, until we moved out here. And one of my Betty Crocker friends made like a Yule log cake.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? It tasted delicious. I'll eat it. But I had never heard of that. And so then I was asking our kids if they had ever heard of it. And they were like, yeah, you don't know what a Yule log is? And I was like, no, I don't. I've never heard of that in my life.
What an idiot.
Idiot.
So I promise this has a reason, right? We talked a little bit about Krampus the last go around. Definitely is something outside of like the Christmas holiday type of stuff.
Yeah, and by last go round, you mean a year ago. This time, not our last episode.
Right. My bad. Yeah. But they had certain traditions. Again, this predates Christianity, and it goes into Mother's Night. So it's honoring female ancestors and the divine feminine. Also involves things like cleaning, baking, lighting candles, helping out around the house, stuff like that. The winter solstice was the second day, or the darkest day of the year, and it was usually spent associated with the wild hunt in folklore. You burned the Yule log. They feasted a lot. They would participate in, or excuse me, not participate. They would cook things like root vegetables. So they had like potatoes. Mm-hmm. They had the slaughter. So it was definitely around like pork or whatever they had killed in the sort of their fall hunt type of thing. They would have mead and wassail and all that type of stuff. Again, decorations. They would do evergreen, mistletoe, holly. There were things that, or they would take the time to reflect and really get into that transitionary period, because like I said, Yule is 12 days. So it starts, it's usually the 20th or 21st. It just kind of depends on the calendar year and goes until New Year's Day. And so there's kind of gift giving and there's something that you would kind of do every single day. But it really represented a time where they knew that the days were now going to start getting longer. So I think that's all something we can get behind, right?
Yeah.
No one loves that it's dark at 5 o'clock and
No.
everything like that. So the days are going to start to get longer. There's a little bit of extra yay behind it. You would reflect, really take a deep dive into thinking about your goals for the upcoming year and really just celebrating that time that would transition over into, spring ultimately.
Yeah, it's interesting. You said this like predates Christianity, but it's like interesting how many like parallels there are, how many like traditions and similarities that have like followed over.
Oh, yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't even realize that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, you just, when you're raised in Christianity, you know Christmas.
Yeah.
And Easter and things like that. But Yule is, I think what is interesting is that some of these same people celebrated Yule before converting to Christianity. Because, again, where this is Germanic tribes, paganism, you could think of this as Norse. So like Vikings, for instance, they all had these pagan roots where they were believing in multiple gods and celebrating Yule, the winter solstice, all this stuff. And then they all of a sudden had there was the Christian Crusades where people were converting, sometimes forced to convert to Christianity. And it's like they just kind of adopted the same stuff, but had to call it Christmas instead of Yule. So it doesn't match, exactly.
Right.
We would celebrate Christmas the 25th, but the winter solstice over Yule,
But it's just weird how many similarities, like the Christmas tree, the mistletoe.
Yeah.
I don't know how Yule log ties in still.
It's, the Yule log is a dessert, but back in the day, it was just like you had a special log that you would burn in your fireplace at night to keep your home warm.
But why was it special?
I don't know. I couldn't really figure it out.
Okay.
I'm sure
if anybody knows, let us know. We might find down.
I'm sure I could take a deeper dive into what exactly was the significance of the Yule log.
We're figuring it out in real time.
Yeah, pretty much. So it was, that's like the first half kind of what I wanted to cover. Do you want to talk about yours, or do you want me to finish up my...
Probably just finish up yours, because mine is not related to yours at all. Like, it's completely different. So
okay,
we'll just keep the two separate.
Okay. So we're going to kind of jump to something that's a little different, sort of Krampus-y, if you will.
Okay.
Okay. But this is actually a Greek creature. So it's Greek folklore. I'm probably going to slaughter this. I'm sure that there is some sort of Greek pronunciation that if anyone understands what this is going to just jump all over it.
Greek is hard.
Yeah.
Greek words are hard.
So hard. So I think that it's called the Kallikantzario.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds legit. I'll accept it.
I'm probably not going to say that again.
Okay.
We'll just say these guys.
These guys.
So Greek is kind of the origin, but there are similar groups that sort of have this same, mythology behind it, including Bulgaria, North Macedonia, Serbia, Turkey, Bosnia, and Albania. So kind of that southeastern Europe region anyways. So these Kallikantzario are believed to dwell underground most of the time, trying to saw down a giant tree that supports Earth, or sometimes known as the Tree of Life. So they're these little demons that were they weren't bad is kind of the way it's described. They're just very mischievous, and they pulled pranks, and it was kind of just this, I don't know what you want to call it. Just it was a weird creature thing. What I did think was really funny though, was that they are described as every single one of them having some sort of issue. Like they would lisp or have a limp.
What?
Or they were kind of just like idiots, like these dumb creature things.
Like lemmings?
Yeah, I think lemming was one of the things
really?
it was described as.
Oh, because Roman, our son, he's obsessed with lemmings right now. he's like, Mom, do you know what a lemming is? And I'm like, I don't believe so. He's like, it's a rodent. And they're really dumb. So when we get an answer wrong at school, our teacher calls us lemmings. And now he's obsessed with watching lemming videos on YouTube because they like jump off the cliff, I guess, and drown. They're just like really dumb.
He showed us that video.
Yeah. So anyways, reminded me of a lemming. I've got lemmings on the brain.
Yeah, it's definitely like this. I don't know how else to describe it. It does look a little bit demonic. Like it has ears that are that of like a donkey or a goat. It's described as a dark-skinned, hairy, like human-esque upper body, but it also has a tail and hooves more along the lines of like a goat. So that's why I say it kind of has this like weird
a gremlin
resemblance. I don't even know if you want to call it a gremlin, but just like...
Well, a gremlin looks like that on the top, kind of. With the big ears.
We can probably find something and post it online so that you can take a look at it. A goblin, I guess, is kind of just like a weird goblin with like hoof-shaped feet and everything like that. But anyways, this also has a 12 days of Christmas type of thing. Mm-hmm. So I guess in Greek, you start kind of this 12 days of Christmas on Christmas Day, and it goes through January 6th. So there's 6 days of the old year and 6 days of the new year. Okay. But here we go. So like I said, they stay underground working at chopping down this tree but then they come up during this 12 days of Christmas. And this is totally like a parents trying to, scared straight their kids type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they, kind of embraced it as a culture. Again, this was all new to me. So if anyone's Greek and I'm just
getting it wrong, we apologize. We're learning in real time.
Absolutely.
Don't come for us.
So, but then they would go back down and the tree would have like healed itself in those 12 days. Anyways. So they also are, they're like little freaking vampires. They don't like the sun. And so they would be mischievous all night long, but once the sun comes up, they disappear. So they're not really like, quote, seen very much. They're just, again, little mischievous turds. So anyways, they like to play pranks or just give trouble. They'll come down the chimney to urinate in your fireplace.
Oh, wow.
Befoul food, water, and wine, spoil the milk, break furniture, devour the Christmas pork, and just terrorize people. But it all ends on what's called the Epiphany, which is January 6th. The sun comes up. They must return underground to continue working at chopping down this tree of life. So like I said, they are sort of like dark-skinned, hairy creatures with burning red eyes, goats and donkey ears, tongues that hang out, beastly limbs. It says that they have donkey-like feet or hoofs. It also says they're mostly male, often with prominent organs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just out and about?
Out and about.
For the world to see?
Well, if you saw them. Okay. As they would come down, there was a lot of ways that you could prevent them from getting into your things. They would boil water in like a pot with I think they put what was it? They put some sort of herb in there that would like attract them down the chimney, but then they would fall into this boiling pot of water.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, they would take the ashes each night and sprinkle it around the outside because they did not like the smell of those. I mean, there were more like sinister stories where they had like sharp claws and they would definitely leave scratch marks on people and everything like that. But they were generally just mischievous. Going back to the part where I said that they were like a kind of dumb, one of the other things that you could do was leave a sieve or a colander out. And they would get distracted and have to start counting the holes, but they were too dumb to count past 2. And it was believed that 3 maybe was some sort of like positive omen that goes against their mischievous nature. And so they would spend the whole night counting the holes in the strainer type of things. And
that could not be more random. I did not know where you were going with this, but it wasn't that.
That's got to be a fact. I mean, it's online. It's printed everywhere. So they primarily fed on frogs, worms, snakes, and other creatures. That's why they loved the pork so much, because it was just such a savory meat that they would come. But they would also, parents would convince their children to help them make desserts and honey cakes because it would keep them busy, again, eating throughout the night. So they come down the chimney. So that, again, you got to keep your fire burning throughout the night, aka the Yule log. So
got it.
Translated over into Greek culture as well.
Okay.
But you had to keep this going for the duration of the 12 nights. They even said that if you had foul-smelling shoes,
ew,
then you should throw those in because it would deter them, it would be a repellent to them because it stunk, I guess. I mean, I would imagine stinky shoes burning in a fire is pretty rotten.
I would think.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if this has like Christian, I guess it would have some sort of like Christian backing behind it because they said that you could also help by keeping a cross or holy water around. And in many cases, a lot of these black crosses were either marked onto doors or hung on the doors of their homes. You could burn incense or hang a pig's jaw
Ew.
in front of your door or inside the chimney to ward them off.
All right, everybody, get out your pig jaws.
Get some pig jaws. So it's believed, or one of the theories, I guess, not believed, that way back in the day, they actually had like masquerades during this winter festival where they would have people wear the ugliest masks that they could create or figure out and jingle loud bells, visit door to door, and kind of just like cause mischief. And so it's like kind of like, I think parents took that and like rolled it over. So be good, or this Greek, I don't even remember what it was called again, the Kallikantzario.
I couldn't tell you.
Something like that. Those guys will come and just cause mischief all over the home.
See, so that does sound similar to Krampus, though. Because
yeah.
Krampus, they do the festival where they're all in the ugly outfits and the mask, and they all dress up and whatever. And then like the lore or whatever is that like they come and take the bad kids. So that's very similar.
Yeah, this doesn't. It doesn't seem like they take kids in this, but it was like just enough that it's like you guys better get your act together.
Yeah.
Or these little goblins are going to come steal your stuff and break your things, and they'll be in the house causing mischief.
Maybe we should start threatening our kids this way.
Probably.
It might work.
Yeah. Like I said, there is more like sinister stories that I didn't get too far into, but like there was threats that they would like sit on you and give you an ultimatum. There was like 2 words. I can't remember what it was now. You have to say one word or the other, and if you said the first word, it was safe, but if you said the second word, then it would like they would pile on you with all their weight and basically just beat you. And
okay.
So, I mean, take it as far as you want, parents.
Take it as far as no judgment here. Kids these days are out of control. I feel like this whole like pagan roots thing is like your number 2 Roman Empire.
100%.
I feel like you think about it a lot.
Absolutely.
And talk about it a lot.
Well, if you must know, this is just one of probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 old Christmas or pagan lores that I came up with.
It is interesting, I will say.
Yeah, there's like the Krampus. You have these little demons. I think we covered Perchta.
Yeah, Crow Perchta.
Yeah, that was way back last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have these little demons. I don't know. There's a ton more. So I'd be happy to cover more in the future because this is exciting stuff to me.
I can tell.
Am I talking fast?
You're always talking kind of fast, yeah. But it's like it's kind of like your Roman Empire, and just the fact that you actually do think about the Roman Empire is still fascinating to me.
What's it to you?
It's so bizarre because all of you guys are the same. I never thought about it ever in my life.
Well, that's where we get all of our
kids are yelling right now in the other room. So sorry if you can hear it. Yeah. It's crazy over here. We have 2 boys and 2 birds and boys. So
and
it's
birds
loud.
Scream all morning and the boys scream all night.
Not all night, but they're very into the new season of Stranger Things right now. So
either that or they're yelling at the TV via video games.
Yeah, so it's pretty chaotic. All right, well, yeah, Mitch, thanks. That was interesting.
Yeah, I think Maybe I'll knock out one more the next episode or a couple more. So like I said, I found several. I think it's fun and exciting, and technically like it rolls over into the new year, some of them. So
yeah, it does. So it's still relevant because it is kind of like lore, but also history-ish.
Yeah.
And it is interesting to learn about other cultures and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel like where we grew up, there's not a lot of diversity in cultures. And even just moving out here to the South, there's a lot of, well, we're like in a city. It's not like the South, but I just feel like there's been so many different things out here and people and like things to learn about. And it's just interesting.
Yeah, it's just fun to take a step back and like really think about and understand. Like I said, there's a good possibility that a lot of these people that believed in some of these deities, or, you know, whether it was belief or whether it was just like lore, they could have very well lived a pagan, Wiccan, Norse, whatever lifestyle and ultimately converted to Christianity at some point during the Crusades.
Yeah.
So it's just like there are people that have a similar Christian or have a Christian belief, but then ultimately had to like have this paradigm shift in their mind because they were used to multiple gods and Yule and everything. So it just makes for an easy transition, I guess, when you're going from Yule to Christmas to just 12 days of Christmas and a Christmas tree and presents and feasting and gift giving. And it all ultimately is rooted in something that predates Christianity.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Anyways, I'll stop.
Yeah, you could go on about it for a while. I know. I have stop. I have been seeing a couple videos. Like it's always on my feed now. The like Krampus parade thing that they do in Europe. I'll see videos of it from time to time, and it is scary. Like, it does look scary, man. Their costumes or outfits or whatever are legit. Like, it's pretty intense, and they just like come for you. And I was just like wondering, like, oh my gosh, this could be problematic. This is like the purge. Like, how do they not just go in and like do terrible things, and like they're masked and like people don't know who they are? But then like I was reading about it, and evidently, at least in one of the places, I think it was somewhere in Germany, they made them like have numbers on them or something, or like associated with them. So like even though they're masked, like everybody's like registered to a number.
Oh, okay.
So they can't just go in and cause like total chaos. Yeah, they can't just like go rogue and like murder someone or something, or like rob a store. And then because it just seemed like a little sketchy, just have everybody like have their face covered in a mask.
It's like you got to do a background check and then you're given a number.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to do a background check, but there was like some checks in place, like some checks and balances. So it wasn't just like they're running rogue.
In this day and age, gotta.
Yeah. So anyway,
what you got?
So mine's like not related to yours at all.
That's fine.
I guess if you want to tie it in to Christmas, then similar to Jesus, these people were resurrected.
Wow.
Not really, but almost in a way. This is stories about people who were almost buried alive. They thought they were dead, put them in a coffin. They were, in fact, not dead.
Wow.
Okay, so this is not super common, but I mean, more common than I would think.
I think more than once is too common.
I think you're right. More than once. So recently, a couple of these stories have happened recently. There was a woman in Ecuador named Bella Montoya, and so she got a full-blown death certificate, okay, from the hospital. And then they do a wake. They do this wake for 5 hours. And after 5 hours and a death certificate, they start hearing knocking on the coffin, and they open it, and she's alive, but barely. And they like had to call an ambulance, and there's a video of this. I watched the video.
What?
Yeah. There's a video. One of the videos, her face is blurred out, but one of them it's not. And she's just like this old, skinny, decrepit woman, and she is alive, and she's like moving around. And yeah. So, okay, let me read this article. So, an Ecuadorian woman has died days after mourners at her funeral were shocked to find her alive in her coffin. Bella Montoya, 76, was first declared dead by a doctor at a hospital in the city of Babahoyo last week. But when mourners attended her wake, heard her knocking on her coffin, she was immediately rushed back to the same hospital for treatment. After 7 days in intensive care, Ecuador's health ministry confirmed she died on Friday from an, I don't know how to pronounce this, ischemic stroke. The ministry statement added that she had remained under permanent surveillance while at the hospital. They think possibly what could have happened is that she had this condition called catalepsy, where the person experiences a seizure, a loss of consciousness, and the body becomes rigid, kind of like rigor mortis.
Wow.
And they're non-responsive, and they have a very low heart rate, but they are alive. So they think that maybe that is what happened. But obviously somebody dropped the ball because they didn't check properly, or they didn't check long enough to make sure she was for sure dead. They probably just looked at her and she looked bad and was non-responsive and was like, oh, yep, she's dead. There you have it. So the hospital is being like investigated. They're like under investigation for this whole thing. But how weird for the family. You're sad, you're mourning, you're at the wake, you're like, oh shit, she's alive. Then she's in intensive care for 7 days and then just dies again anyway. You have to start this whole thing over.
You sure? Like, are you sure?
But what an up and down, you know? Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
I know. And they filmed it and I saw the video. I watched the video. You can just look it up.
That's how old was she? Do we know?
76, I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was 76. Okay, so this also happened recently in Thailand to this woman. So this lady, she was living with her brother and she was non-responsive for a couple of days, he said, and he thought that she was dead. So he tried to take her to the hospital, and they were like, no, you have to get like a death certificate. Like we need to like do this, that, and the other. He's like, I'm just going to take her to this Buddhist temple because they do cremations for free. So he takes her to this Buddhist temple and, well, I'm just going to read it. The hospital refused to accept the brother's offer as he didn't have an official death certificate. His temple offers a free cremation service, which is why the brother approached them on Sunday, but was also refused due to the missing document. The temple manager said that while he was explaining to him how to get a death certificate, they heard knocking. Then they assessed her and they sent her to a hospital. And what's funny to me is as I'm reading this, the Buddhist temple posted the video of this woman moving. She's in like a coffin in the back of a pickup truck moving around. I saw this video too. And this Buddhist temple just like posted it on their Facebook page. I thought that was so weird. I don't know. It doesn't seem super Buddhist, but it was like, hey, check this shit out. This lady, we almost cremated her, but
at least she didn't make it to the oven.
She's actually alive. But I have to wonder, like, why was this brother so anxious to cremate her? He was like done with her.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I think she's dead. I don't know. I'll just take her to this Buddhist temple. They do it for free. Here you go. And they're like, no, sir, there are some procedures we have to go through. Like, we do need some documentation. And then she just starts moving in the coffin. Moving around.
Like, how was your nap?
Yeah. So let's see. She had been bedridden for about 2 years and she was unresponsive for 2 days. So that's why I guess that's why he thought that she was dead. I don't know why everyone's making this mistake in these stories. It's really not that hard to check for a pulse, I don't think. But he just assumed. Turns out she just had severe hypoglycemia. So I do believe she's still alive.
That's crazy.
I know. What a story. So this next one is a little bit sadder, a little more not as happy of an ending, and almost a little bit of lore behind it. Like I couldn't really get an exact answer of what happened. Different opinions from different sides. But in 2015, there was a pregnant Honduras teen that was buried alive. So they think maybe she had a panic attack or something, which seems weird to me. That's the first explanation, is that she suffered a panic attack after hearing gunfire as she lived in kind of a sketchy area. And she was pronounced dead of a heart attack at the local hospital. The local condition that could explain Perez's death-like state, again, is this catalepsy that we talked about with the Ecuadorian woman. which can cause weak breathing, unresponsiveness, and rigidity. The second, more cinematic version is that Perez became ill. Her family suspected that she had been possessed by the devil. And after efforts from a pastor failed to exorcise what her husband or boyfriend referred to as, quote, another voice inside her, she was pronounced dead at a local hospital. So they pronounce her dead. The family goes to her gravesite the next day, and they claim that they could hear her yelling in there and scratching. And this was like a type of like casket that had like a glass kind of top.
What?
You know what I mean? Like it has almost like a glass window.
Okay.
And that the glass, so they got her out. And again, there's not a video of her body, but there is a video of them like all like breaking the cement around it, like the tomb, and like pulling her out. Pulling out the
I have questions.
Coffin. Well, hang on. So the little the glass window thing that's like on top of it, because I guess some of them have. This is like another. I think it's because it's in another country and like their culture, their
cultural beliefs.
Well, just like they do it differently, like how like they do like a wake, and how they did that for the Ecuadorian women. Like people don't normally. It's like different here. It's just like a different procedure or whatever.
Okay.
So I think sometimes it has a glass thing so that they can see inside, like at the wake type thing, so they can like see the person, but it's still closed. So they pulled it out, and that glass window part was broken. Which they are like, okay, was she alive? Did she break this window out trying to escape? But then some people are saying, no, it broke because of the gases being emitted.
What gases?
From a decomposing body.
But if she was alive...
I know, but some people think she was alive, and some people think she wasn't alive. So the family thinks she was alive and broke the glass trying to get out. Because when they pulled out the thing, she was unresponsive. This is where it gets weird. She seemed dead when they pulled her out, but there was no like bad odor. She didn't seem like she was decomposing. They said like there was no smell. Her color was still good. She didn't seem like a decomposing body at all.
Interesting.
Because they like, I think in these like impoverished areas, they don't embalm.
Right.
So they're like, no, she's alive. She's alive. They rush her to the hospital, and they declared her dead again at the hospital, and then she was reburied. So the family thinks like she was slightly alive, but they just pulled her out too late.
Yeah.
But then the hospital is saying, no, she was definitely dead. The glass just broke because of like the gases of a decomposing body. You can't really get a straight answer either way.
How deep was this? Because, like, I mean, we bury 6 feet deep, right? So I have to believe if they could hear something, it wasn't very deep.
It wasn't, like, down in. The video I saw, it was, like, in a cement kind of tomb thing. And it was, like, above ground.
Oh, it was an above-ground tomb.
Yeah, so they were, like,
so the
breaking
casket
the
was
cement.
Inside of the cement tomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can probably look up a
makes
picture.
more sense.
It's hard to explain. I'm not explaining it very well.
I'm thinking the graveyard in Coco.
No, not like that. It's not like that. Well, I don't remember what Coco doesn't have above. They just have like big, tall.
Well, they have for the like famous people, the rich people, but like I'm pretty sure just like the commoners, if you will, are just like in 2 feet cement.
I don't know. I don't remember. See, here's a picture of it.
Okay.
There's a lot of articles about it. People Magazine did an article about it.
Interesting.
So the family is like convinced, like, no, we heard her yelling in there. We took her out. Then they took her back to the hospital. They're like, no, she's dead. And they just reburied her. But then there's all this other weird kind of lore centered around it about them thinking like she may have been possessed and they couldn't do an exorcism. And there's just like all these weird different stories. But she ultimately ended up dying.
That's very sad.
Or were they embarrassed because she was a pregnant teen and she like brought shame to the family or something? Like
possible.
Weird. Very weird.
Very weird. I can't even imagine. Like that's got to be like top 3 scariest things to be buried alive.
Yeah. Then there were a bunch of other stories of like some magicians and like people like that who were trying to be buried alive for an extended period of time just to see if they could do it. I thought about covering those ones, but I didn't because they weren't as interesting because it was like they were volunteering to do it.
Yeah.
You know? I can't think of words right now because, as I said, I'm a hairstylist in December, and I feel like I've talked so much to people the last 3 days that now my brain's not thinking of words. I'm just like short-circuiting. At the end of my day yesterday, I was like, I literally can't think of words. It
happens to the best of us.
It really does. Too many toxic fumes. I don't know. So anyway, that's all I have.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
And on that happy note, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Don't get...
Blessed Yule.
Blessed Yule. Don't get harassed by a little gremlin demon.
And so the winter solstice is coming, folks. By the time this comes out, we'll be days away. And longer days will be in our future.
But how much longer?
Well, it effectively starts getting longer December 22nd.
No, I know. I'm saying how much longer is the day really,
though?
Like
fractional for the first
like
couple
it doesn't
weeks.
Seem that much different.
Yeah.
Because it has been depressing it getting dark so early.
Yeah.
Because I can't do anything once it gets dark. By the time 5 o'clock hits, I'm like, bye, I'm taken to the bed.
I've seen.
I've done a lot of TV watching. A lot.
It happens.
And it goes quick, too. It's like, oh, the sun's going down. And it's just like, boom, it's midnight.
Yeah.
So.
Stay strong, folks.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to say.
It's rough out here.
Longer days are in the future.
We're all going to get through it together.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll catch you on the next one.